Michael Jackson is a weird guy, right? Always been considered an odd bird. He grew up a Jehovah's Witness, and I also grew up Jehovah's Witness, as a matter of fact. So I want to speak to his oddness for a second. There's this clip from 1993 where he celebrated Christmas for his very first time with Liz Taylor.
And very few are real friends. You can probably count them on one hand. And Elizabeth is one of the most loyal, loving, caring people that I know. She decided to transform Neverland into its first Christmas because I don't celebrate Christmas.
So 1993, he celebrated his very first Christmas, and in the middle of the night, Liz Taylor came in and decided to decorate his whole place, just deck it out with Christmas stuff. Now, as an ex-Jehovah's Witness, there's something very unique about Christmas. There's a unique feeling that comes with Christmas. It's a kind of a mix of fear and guilt and shame that you automatically get when you think about Christmas or celebrating Christmas or whatever. Michael Jackson was a unique person in that he grew up both Jehovah's Witness and famous. So he had those two things simultaneously isolating him. He couldn't be normal. There was no way for him to be normal. There was no normal option for this dude. And he came out a weirdo. And people suspect he did all this suspicious stuff. In my personal opinion, I don't believe that he did any of that stuff. I think he's just a weird guy as a result of being a Jehovah's Witness. You know, when I left the religion behind, I used to say weird things that didn't make sense, that didn't add up, that confused people, that were just strange. I didn't even realize it. I thought I was being normal. But I was isolated from society completely for 3 years because of my parents and because of Jehovah's Witnesses combined. And I was isolated from society entirely by Jehovah's Witnesses for my entire life, ultimately. So when I came out and I started, I got a girlfriend, I started getting friends and hanging out with people, I was weird. I was an odd dude. And I didn't even realize it. I thought it was just like being normal. My wife at the time literally apologized for me for being weird, for saying weird stuff. I had no idea. I had no clue. I was just being odd. I started catching on to the things that she's apologizing to people for. And then I started apologizing for it. And I tried to stop doing that stuff. I tried to stop being weird. My go-to excuse was, I'm sorry, I was in a cult. That's what my ex-wife used to say too. I'm sorry he was in a cult. He grew up in a cult. Inevitably, they always ask, oh, which cult? I say Jehovah's Witnesses. Then they want to have a debate about whether Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult. A debate that I don't need to have, that I've had 1,000 times. I know how this affected me. I just said some weird shit in front of you because of my isolation from society, and you really don't think that this is a cult to any degree, really? Okay. Anyway, it affects your head. It affects who you are. Michael Jackson was isolated because of his status as a Jehovah's Witness and because of his status as a famous person. And he never had anybody to teach him to be normal. And this is Liz Taylor's attempt to teach him to be normal. Quick interjection, this won't take long. If you like what I do, I'd appreciate it if you watch the video to the end. YouTube bases video reach off of watch time, so watching even an extra minute makes the video go further. Liking and subscribing goes a long way too. Finally, it would be awesome if you guys checked out my Patreon. All links are in the description, of course. Okay, back to the video.
It is 1993, and this will be Michael Jackson's very first Christmas. It has taken me, I would think, about 5 years of talking him into celebrating Christmas at Neverland's.
It took her 5 years to talk him into celebrating Christmas in Neverland.
Because I understood that if you are a Jehovah's Witness, you don't celebrate Christmas. When he quit being a Jehovah's Witness, I said to Michael, I think Christmas is a wonderful way of celebrating love.
So this is an interesting one. Any Jehovah's Witness, any argument that you give them about why you celebrate Christmas is immediately shot down. There's a pre-programmed response in their head for why you shouldn't be celebrating it, for every argument anybody would ever give you. But what argument did she give? She didn't go with the it's not really pagan argument. She didn't go with any of the other stuff. She said it's about love. You're just showing love to people around you. That's it. It doesn't matter if it's pagan. It doesn't matter if it's something the world does. It doesn't matter if it's part of Christendom. It doesn't matter. It's a celebration of love today. I don't know what it was 2,000 years ago. Today, it's a celebration and expression of love. I appreciate that that's the route that she took.
It's a celebration of love, and I can't see Christmas without Michael or Michael without Christmas. It's pretty, isn't it?
I had no idea she was planning this. This was a real surprise.
So Liz Taylor going up to Michael Jackson's door here to wake him up. Wow, she even decorated the door. I'm sure she had somebody help with this decoration effort, right?
Michael?
That's my bedroom that she's coming to now.
Michael? It's the spirit of Christmas. Come to haunt you.
So I guess he said he's hard to wake up. He eventually comes out. And the fascinating thing, this is another quality about being a Jehovah's Witness. He doesn't understand how Christmas is supposed to proceed.
It's incredible. I can't believe it.
Like, none of this stuff means anything to him. It's beautiful. I love the lights. I love the tinsel and the ornaments and the everything. I love it all. But I don't understand any of it. I have no connection to it. I didn't wake up in the morning and run out into the living room and see a stocking. I didn't do any of this stuff. I don't understand. And Michael Jackson didn't understand either.
This is the first time. She decorated the entire house.
Dude, does this guy sleep in his hat? Why does he have his hat with him? Quick note before we continue, I want to let you know I just wrote a book. If you want to check it out, owenmorgan.com/book. It's a book about my experiences within Jehovah's Witnesses. It's completely understandable if you know nothing about Jehovah's Witnesses. And if you're a Christian, it's a good reference to use for why Jehovah's Witnesses are wrong about their interpretation of the Bible. The last chapter of the book is 100 questions that I have for the governing body. I'm selling the last chapter separately as its own separate guide if you guys want to get that too. So check it out, owenmorgan.com/book. I'd appreciate that. It's truly beautiful, right? It's a beautiful scene we're seeing here.
That's yours.
Santa King?
Santa from Bel Air.
He's asking, Santa sent me this? Who sent me this? You know, it's probably assumed. Who sent this stuff? Did you get me these gifts? Who signed it? You'd probably check who signed it first, right? He doesn't know if he should assume that Liz got it or if Santa got it or what. He just doesn't know how it proceeds. And you'll see more of that in a second.
Santa from Bel Air. Can I open it?
Sure.
Can I open it? Dude didn't know how Christmas is supposed to proceed. There's a shared social phenomenon that Jehovah's Witnesses just don't understand. Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses just don't get. Like, what is mistletoe? What is mistletoe for? Where did it come from? Why is it used? Do people have it in their house? I mean, is it traditional that gifts come from Santa? Do they come from the person? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't know. And that's something that people who are not part of this social phenomenon of Christmas understand. We just don't know. When do you open a stocking? Do you open it before or after the presents? What time do you open the stocking? My first surprise when I celebrated my first Christmas, my big surprise was to find that usually there's a Christmas party beforehand and that there are games that people play. And sometimes people play games while opening gifts. I had no idea. I just didn't know how it progresses. That's it. And this video betrays that from Michael Jackson. Like, he doesn't know how any of this proceeds. He's excited. He can't wait. Who did these gifts come from? Can I open them?
Santa King?
Santa from Bel Air.
Send it from the open it?
Sure.
At the same time, it's exciting. I felt guilty, too, at the same time. I remember going in the bathroom crying later because I felt I had done something wrong.
Went to the bathroom later and cried. This shit does a number on you. This religion does a number on you. And getting it out of your head is a real challenge. And obviously something that Michael Jackson never fully succeeded in doing. He never fully succeeded in getting this religion out of his head. I feel. Although I do still have some qualities from Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm a pacifist. I don't believe in war under any circumstances. I don't believe in fighting under any circumstances. There are some qualities, I was born in, so naturally, they formed my personality as I grew up. I'm going to have some things left over from this religion, right, obviously. But man, it seems like Michael Jackson never addressed some of this stuff.
Because I was raised not to ever celebrate it.
Yes.
Anyway, they open up a whole bunch of, I think they open Super Soakers. Yeah, they get 16 Super Soakers.
Now I know how to wake up Elizabeth tomorrow.
And Michael Jackson never had a childhood. If the dude wants to have a childhood, yeah, that's a little bit weird. It's kind of weird. But you know what? I understand that. I understand that weird mindset. I get that the dude is weird. Selena Gomez is an ex-Jehovah's Witness. Dave Mustaine, guitarist for Metallica and singer and guitarist of the band Megadeth, ex-Jehovah's Witness. Biggie had a Jehovah, or has currently, his Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., his mom is a Jehovah's Witness right now. Of course, he's long gone, but his mom is a Jehovah's Witness, and she wouldn't listen to his music because he was not living within, the bounds that she expected of him. And as a matter of fact, he actually made a song about being Jehovah's Witness. Biggie did. Childish Gambino is another one. Donald Glover. There's a shared understanding between all of us. Between me, Selena Gomez, Michael Jackson, Biggie, everybody that's been in the religion and has exited. There's a shared understanding. Success, monetary success, or whatever. Michael Jackson got rich. That's fantastic. His success is my success. We all succeeded because it was the last thing that the Watchtower Society wanted of us. Success. When you exit the religion, they pull the rug out from under you intentionally. They want to make sure that everybody in the congregation watches as you fall flat on your face and bloody your nose. Michael Jackson's success is my success. Donald Glover's success is my success. Not just monetarily, but socially. Donald Glover was a writer for 30 Rock. Extremely well known. Extremely intelligent and a funny guy. Managed to blend into society seamlessly to the point that you don't even realize that he's an ex-Jehovah's Witness unless you listen to him talk about it. His success is my success. He went through the same process that I did. Did he have somebody there apologizing for him? Saying, I'm sorry, he's a Jehovah's Witness. He doesn't understand. Michael Jackson was a weird guy, without a doubt. He was a weird guy. But I think that can very comfortably be attributed to his upbringing, to the things he experienced when he was little. Liz Taylor went on Larry King to talk about how Michael Jackson was treated in America. There were accusations that he was attacking kids or whatever, assaulting kids, probably a better way to say it. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I think he was just a weird guy. Macaulay Culkin was the source of a lot of those claims about Michael Jackson because Macaulay Culkin went to Neverland Ranch and stayed there a lot. Watched TV with Michael Jackson and everything. And Macaulay Culkin says, no, nothing happened. There was no questionable activity. We were just hanging out. You know what I think Michael Jackson was doing? Looking at other kids who very clearly weren't getting the childhood that they should have and helping them get it. Getting Macaulay Culkin away from his parents who were using him for every dime they could get out of him. I think that is what Michael Jackson was doing. I think that's who he was. I don't think that he attacked any kids. I don't believe it for a second. He was just an odd guy who had too many issues to list that he never worked through, in my opinion. Now, it's taken me 20 minutes or so to explain all of this to you. Try explaining that to somebody after they ask, oh, what cult? And you say Jehovah's Witness. And they try to have an argument over it. I don't have 20 minutes of my life to devote to every single person who doesn't get it, doesn't understand. Anyway, Liz Taylor goes on Larry King to talk about Michael Jackson's accusations about kids, the ones that I simply don't believe. This, by the way, this video came out, I don't know how long ago, long time ago, early 2000s probably.
I loved him.
Oh, this is probably after Michael Jackson died.
Michael Jackson. The story of your friendship with him, how did that begin?
I went to a concert, and I couldn't see a thing. I was way up in it was at the stadium, and I couldn't see a thing. And I brought 30 people, and we couldn't even hear. So we went home to watch it on television by disc.
That's honestly what I do. I live in New York City, and so everyone's like, oh, you got to go to Times Square on January 1st, right? Or, oh, you got to go to the Macy's Day Parade. No, I'm not doing any of that. That's terrible. Got to stand there all day, from 6 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. or until midnight the next day or something. People wear diapers. They don't even get to use the bathroom out there, for real. I'm not doing any of that. That sounds terrible. Just watch it on TV. You get a way better view on TV. People say, oh, you should go watch, there's a big barge on July 4th, goes up the East River and blows off fireworks. I'm not going down there. There's a place right across from me, out my window. I can see they blow off fireworks. I'll watch them. They're probably 2-3 miles away, but I can see them, kind of bursting in the air. That's good enough. I don't need to go all the way down there in the crowds and fight them and all that junk. So, yeah, I'm with you, Liz.
We went home to watch it on television by disc. And Michael heard that I had left halfway through and called me the next day and was in tears because he'd heard that I'd walked out. I hadn't walked out. I just couldn't see anything.
Oh, it sounds like she's kind of frustrated that she couldn't see anything, but okay.
And then we talked on the phone for about 3 hours, and from there on in, we talked more and more on the phone.
How many odd things do you think Michael Jackson said to her that didn't really add up? Jokes that don't really make any sense to anybody except for the ex-Jehovah's Witness. Liz Taylor talked to him for 3 hours first go around. Michael Jackson probably realized he was like that and was very careful about who he brought into his inner circle. By the way, I talk about this at length in my book, owenmorgan.com/book, if you want to see it. I go through and talk about this video, Michael Jackson's life and his personality and why it was weird, the whole 9 yards. So check out the book if you want to take a look and learn more about this.
More and more time with each other and just became really good friends, told each other everything.
Why'd you like him so much?
I think the answer was probably because she recognized that people treated him poorly. Nobody wanted to be around him. They all thought he was strange. She wanted to be the one there helping him experience his first Christmas, his first birthday, his first everything. I'm not going to answer for Liz. Let her answer.
Became really good friends, told each other everything.
Why'd you like him so much?
We're very much alike.
Are you?
Yes.
I assume that means odd.
We both had horrible childhoods. Working at the age of 9 is not a childhood.
Have you spoken to him recently?
Yes, I have.
Oh, he must not have died yet. Alexa, when did Michael Jackson die? Wow, Michael Jackson was only 50 years old when he died. He died in 2009. I remember when he died. So this must be pre-09. This interview's probably early 2000s, I'd guess.
How's he doing? He's in where?
He sounds very happy.
Where is he?
At the moment, I think he's in London.
But he was in Tokyo recently and then London.
Yeah.
But he lives in Bahrain.
Right.
This is after all of these allegations came out, unfounded allegations about him attacking kids, basically.
What did you think of the charges against him?
I've never been so angry in my life.
But didn't you think, Dame Elizabeth, I'm sorry, that it would look strange to people to have someone who's in his 40s spending a night with children? I mean...
Again, like he had Macaulay Culkin come over and gave him a childhood that he knew that he wasn't going to get from his parents. And Macaulay Culkin attested to the fact that nothing questionable or weird happened. He just hung out with Michael Jackson. He just watched movies with him. There's nothing weird about it. Michael Jackson didn't have a childhood. I didn't have a childhood. Macaulay Culkin did not have a childhood. People are just trying to experience life. I don't believe for a second that any of this stuff is true about him. Outside of the United States at the time, at the very least, Europe and Japan and other countries, continents and countries, they didn't buy into this thing that Michael Jackson was doing anything to children. Americans believed this and pushed it, largely, at the time.
Spending a night with children. I mean, just off the face of it.
All right, I'll answer that, because I've been there. When his nephews were there, and we all were in the bed watching television, there was nothing abnormal about it. There was no touchy feeling going on. We laughed like children.
Because they were being children. They never had that opportunity before.
And we watched a lot of Walt Disney. There was nothing odd about it.
So you think they were out after him?
I do.
The authorities and the like?
Oh, absolutely. This is like a total witch hunt against Michael Jackson, without a doubt. Even if this thing had happened, this was a witch hunt against him. It can simultaneously be a witch hunt and true. In my opinion, I don't believe witch hunts are ever justified. Ever. If it's true, let justice be served. But there doesn't need to be a kangaroo court of nutcases trying to run people down like the paparazzi were with Michael Jackson, trying to get pictures of him and asking him probing questions and stuff.
After him?
I do.
The authorities and the like?
I think the paparazzi started, not the paparazzi, the press. Excuse me, may I blow my nose?
You may.
Thank you.
It's called human.
Well, I'm not.
Even Elizabeth Taylor blows her nose. Is he going to come back to working?
I don't think so, except maybe in Europe.
You don't think he'll ever live in the United States again?
Well, really, why should he? He's been treated like dirt here.
We'll take a break, come back, we'll talk about AIDS, we'll talk about...
Anyway, yeah, you're going to have to watch like the 2003 episode if you want to hear about that stuff. But the point is that I don't think Michael Jackson was a bad person or doing bad things. I think he's weird. I think he was taking the opportunity to watch Disney films. You know why? In some households, Disney films, some Jehovah's Witness households, Disney was banned. Not in mine, uniquely. In some Jehovah's Witness homes, Pokemon was banned. Not in mine. In some households, Dungeons and Dragons is banned. It was in mine, even though the creator of Dungeons and Dragons was a Jehovah's Witness. That's right, Larry Gygax, ex-Jehovah's Witness. Got disfellowshipped for playing Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, anyway. Harry Potter was allowed in some homes and not others. It was a little bit of a cultural thing. But the point here is that Michael Jackson was probably, he never had an opportunity to watch the Disney movies. Aladdin and, I don't know, The Lion King and whatever else. He was probably watching them for the first time with his nephews and nieces, with Macaulay Culkin and with other child stars who didn't have a childhood, who were living out the same life that Michael Jackson had lived out. I think he was 100% innocent. And you know what? I think he was a good person, too. Honestly. Like, an honestly good person. I don't even like Michael Jackson's music. I've never listened to a Michael Jackson song that I enjoy. I can't even name a Michael Jackson song. Thriller. I can name Thriller. And the only reason I can name Thriller is because I'm a retro game collector, and I remember him having that hat and doing the dance. on the retro game for the Sega Genesis. I'm not a Jackson fan. I don't even like the dude that much. But he's innocent. And it's honestly sad that he was just attacked for no reason, in my opinion. It's just sad. Tell me what you think in the comments. Was he innocent? Was he just a weird guy? But tell me your thoughts anyway. I want to know.